and welcome everyone from around the world. I'm Kristen Schwartz, licensed midwife and MC here at Gold. And today I'm very excited. We are getting ready for our brand new Labor and Delivery Symposium here at Gold. And with me here is Dr. Britta Bushnell. Welcome, Britta. It's lovely to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Kristen. It's wonderful to be here. I'm always so pleased to work with Gold. I think
And
you're an amazing organization.
oh,
I
thank you.
love
And
it.
it's lovely to have you here. You are back by popular demand, although this is a brand new symposium that we're putting on for this year, but we knew we wanted to have you be part of this. Love learning from you. So before we jump into the presentation that you are giving, I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself. First of all, where in the world are you? Because we have such an international audience here.
I love that. That's one of the things I love about Gold. I am in just outside of Los Angeles in Southern California.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And it's been a hot summer there this year for you as well, right?
Yes, yes. Although my office, which is where I am right now, is kind of in the basement, and so the basement stays a little bit cooler.
Okay, that's good to know. Keeping you cool there.
Yes.
Now let's talk about your professional background. You have such a
Mhm.
fascinating background. I have to say, I always love talking to you because you have that rich background. You're so involved in birth but also mythology. And so talk to us a little bit about your background because I find it absolutely fascinating.
It is a little discombobulated and strange when you're thinking about it from different perspectives. But I was drawn into the work of childbirth when I was first pregnant with my first son, who is almost 24. So that tells you how long that's been. And I was drawn as a yoga teacher. So I started in prenatal yoga and then became a childbirth educator and a doula, moved through doing that work for many years. I still do some of that work. I don't teach yoga anymore. And then I decided I really needed to go back to school and decided to get a PhD, get my doctorate in mythology with an emphasis in psychology. So, what
Mm.
that means is that it's looking at stories and symbols and the
Mhm.
way we use those to understand ourselves.
Mm.
So it's like the intersection of story and metaphor and ourselves and our understanding of ourselves. So it doesn't mean that I have a PhD in what would be more like the classics, like Greek mythology or Roman mythology, which is often what people think about when I say I have a PhD in mythology. It's really that intersection between myth and self, story and personal understanding. And so it's been really rich. And that work, in many ways, my birth work led me into that program. And then the program led me back to birth work because I'm really engaged and interested in the power of story for us to understand
Mhm.
ourselves. So I utilize that in my work. I wrote about it in my book that I published, Transformed by Birth. And I utilize it in how I work with both professionals and with parents.
Mhm. Oh, fascinating. And you brought up such a good point there about the stories and what we can learn about ourselves. And I think this is such a wonderful aspect. And I feel like this has been neglected because for thousands of years, humans have been sitting around the fire telling
Yes,
stories, right? And storytelling was something important where people, exchanged wisdoms and, people learned from it, not just children, but also adults and taking this kind of
absolutely.
back and going like, wow, what can how can we utilize this to learn about ourselves? And not only that, then take this what we've learned and translate it into our birth work and and for our families. I find this absolutely fascinating, and
Yes.
what a beautiful way of doing this.
Thank you. I love it too. And it's storytelling is often referred to as an ancient technology.
Oh wow, yes.
And I love that idea because we get caught up in our as modern people in
Hmm.
technology and in science and how does it well in many ways myth and story is ancient science and technology,
Hmm.
and there is such value in that imagery that you just described of that sitting around the fire and learning about ourselves, preparing for something important, which
Mhm.
birth and parenthood is important. And
Yes.
the ancient way of preparing for something important was through story.
Oh, I love this so much. The ancient way of preparing for something important was through story. And yes, a birth, I mean, how much more important can
I
something
know,
become than birth, right? I mean, this is
right?
a life-changing experience, not only for the parents, but as a new little person on the world in the world, and also, but also for the caretakers, the team, the extended family, the care providers, wherever that birth is happening, right? So there is a lot to
Absolutely.
prepare for, and I feel like looking at it like that also brings back a little bit of, for the caretaker, birth might be something a little bit more routine because or the healthcare
The
professional in the
healthcare team.
hospital, or
Mhm.
in the hospital or at home or where a birth center, wherever that birth is happening, because that's what we're trained for and we see a lot. But still, this is it, a very important event, not only for that family but also for us as care providers, right?
Absolutely. And isn't that one of the reasons why care providers are drawn to this work?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
let's be deeply respectful and understanding of often what draws care providers to this line of work is that desire to be around something so profound, so
Yes.
meaningful.
Yes. So
And yet
profound.
we can lose touch with that sometimes when we're in the process of following protocols and doing things that are expected of us.
Hmm.
And yet coming back to that memory of, this is
Yes.
profound.
This
This
is
is
profound.
meaningful. It's such
Yes,
important
absolutely.
work. Such important work.
And you're right. That's why most of birth workers are drawn to this, this aspect of it. And which brings me actually to your presentation. Your presentation is titled Archetypes of Power: Navigating Dynamics of the Labor Room. And poof, just like thinking about that topic, oh, there is a lot of energy swirling around in that room, right? The parents,
Yes.
the baby eventually, once it's there, the family or doulas or whoever else is in the room, plus, of course, nurses, physicians, doctors, midwives, whoever is there, right? And the dynamics can be challenging. So tell us a little bit about the
Yes.
presentation.
Yes. The dynamics can be challenging. And as you just described, there's a lot of players, there's a
Mhm.
lot of people involved in what's happening. And one of the things that we've learned and that I talk about in the presentation is that the act of speaking up, engaging, speaking up, whether it's for the parent, whether the parents are the ones speaking up or nurses or care providers are the ones speaking up, impacts, whether or not we do that, impacts the outcomes
Mhm.
in birth.
Mhm.
And so this sounds super simple. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
all we need to do is speak up.
Right.
That's what we need to do. Let's just speak up. It'll improve outcomes. But it's not looking at the power dynamics
Right.
of what's going on in the room. And so in the presentation, I unpack a number of different archetypal ways to look at the power dynamic in the room
Hmm.
and to shift those seats that we take up, those archetypal seats where we're like, all right, now I'm going to do this, or I'm going to be this way, and how we can shift that energetically
Oh,
and then change outcomes. Yeah.
change outcomes. I love this so much. And because we often get to, many of our healthcare providers or nurses or whoever is there often says, oh, I wish I could speak up, but I can't. I'm just this little wheel and cog in the machine, and if I speak up, my working life will be hell, or I'll be all alone. And but it's not black or white, right? There is a lot we can do.
There is a lot we can do, and where we point that energy can influence how others act around us. And that's what I address in the presentation as well, is that knowing, okay, how am I behaving?
Mm.
And what role am I playing that's bumping other people into different energetic roles? So
Mhm.
if I step out of or elevate how it is that I'm behaving, how will that influence those around us? Because we are dynamic individuals who feed off each other
Mm-hmm.
energetically. And so
Yeah.
when we feel the energy of one saying, "Hey, I'm this," we go, "Oh, let me help." We have these, and I go into that in more detail in the
Yes.
presentation, but it's highly influenced by those around us, which means that if any one of the players changes how they are behaving, it can shift the entire dynamic.
Oh, I love this so much. Oh, Britta, I can't wait for your presentation. It's going to be absolutely eye-opening. And what I love about it is that we really can take what we learned there into our work life and really utilize that knowledge through stories and and through these archetypes to
Absolutely.
really make a difference. I can't wait for it.
Thank you. I love being with Gold and offering these different perspectives, like I offer in my childbirth classes that I
Yes.
teach, like I do in my book that's Transformed by Birth. It's over my shoulder here,
Mm-hmm.
and also in my apprenticeship program for professionals.
Beautiful. And where can they reach you if they wanted to reach out for any of these classes?
Well, the social media land is often a good place, and my
Yes.
handle there is Britta Bushnell,
Mhm.
PhD, and my website is brittabushnell.com. So pretty
Perfect.
easy. Britta with two T's, unlike the water filter that only has one T. Mine is with two T's.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And Britta, I'm so happy to have you here for the Gold Labor and Delivery Symposium of 2023. For our viewers, if you would like to find out more about the symposium, about this particular presentation and all the other presentations in the symposium, please visit goldlearning.com. All these presentations will be available on October 16th. We have also an open access and free of charge keynote presentation on October 16th. So make sure you reserve your spot for that, and you'll find the information at goldlearning.com. Thank you again, Britta, for speaking here with me. And it's being a pleasure to host you here at Gold. And thank you to everyone watching. I hope to see you at the symposium. Bye-bye, everyone.